Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft are all slashing middle management, part of a broader shift in how tech operates in the AI era. Mackenzie Sigalos joins us now with more. Mackenzie, this is so interesting just in terms of organizational structure for these tech companies and kind of what makes them more nimble in this AI race.
Hey, good morning, Leslie. So building on your reporting on this exact topic earlier in the week, I spoke to the team at Stanford that's tracking real-time payroll data from ADP, and they found that the jobs most exposed to AI, like coding and accounting, have seen a 13% drop in employment for workers under 25. And losing that bottom rung, they say, is a warning sign of disruption that's moving up the ladder. And we're already seeing that show up in big tech. CNBC's Jen Elias learned that Alphabet cut 35% of its small team managers in the past year, a shift that's echoed at Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft. Mark Zuckerberg has long pushed to cut bloat, and at Amazon, Andy Jassy said the corporate workforce will shrink as generative AI tools take hold. He also told employees there were too many pre-meetings for the pre-meetings and ordered a 15% boost in the ratio of individual contributors to managers. A Yale professor studying the corporate organizational behavior calls it the great flattening, where the goal is fewer layers between top execs and the people actually building product. Google's former HR chief under Eric Schmidt tells me that hyperscalers are likely cutting staff to fund chips, and they're very pricey AI engineers. But he also warns that gutting entry-level roles now will leave a hollowed-out pipeline and a shortage of managers later. Leslie?
Mackenzie, it's all really fascinating. There's a great book that I read earlier this year called The Geek Way by Andrew McAfee, and they talk about these principles that some of the most successful tech companies have employed in order to be successful in terms of their organizational structure, one of which is ownership and kind of giving employees more control over their daily lives, cutting out some of the middle management. And I just wonder, as we think about some of these companies and how they're shifting the way they think, they've gotten really big and successful because they've employed some of these principles. Do you feel like those are now changing as a result of the technology and just the ultimate pressure and CapEx spending and everything that's happening? It needs to be even more flat and nimble than kind of the structure that's gotten them the success so far.
So with Alphabet, it's almost been this boomerang effect where under Eric Schmidt, he introduced something called the Rule of Seven, where you couldn't be a manager unless you managed at least 7 people. And that was designed with a view to basically spread them out so they didn't become bureaucrats, spread them a little bit thin. So they aggressively strayed from that. And we're seeing that show up with the kind of cuts that they're making in the past year. But to your larger question, is it a shift in technology that's behind this rethinking of the org chart? And it really is a combination of factors. I mean, this began in 2023 during Mark Zuckerberg's year of really returning to efficiency, something that Wall Street has rewarded the stock for after a punishing stretch. And that was about expediting the decision-making process, really looking to compress that layer that separates the top executives who are making decisions from people who are actually building the tech. And now the people that they're hiring, spending hundreds of millions of dollars on these advanced AI engineers, they want to, to really connect them with those who are in a position to expedite product decisions in this expedited race. And so some of the decisions at Amazon, for example, looking to compress that ratio of managers to individual contributors, Morgan Stanley says that could lead to 14,000 cuts in management roles under Andy Jassy.
Yeah, I feel like one day it's going to flip and it's going to be the managers overseeing like 7 AI agents or AI bots, and there will be no just kind of player employees.